Hi, everyone. It's Friday, January 21st. It's time for another episode of Live with Virginia NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and the Executive Director of the state chapter, Virginia NORML. Friends, super excited to see you all because you know what happens tomorrow? That's right. The Virginia Cannabis Conference. We're back. It's been 2 years, and we're back tomorrow, January 22nd and 23rd at the Delta Hotels by Marriott, downtown Richmond. There are still a few tickets available, so you can get yours now at virginiacannabisconference.com. Looking forward to seeing all of you there. Greetings and salutations, fellow humans. I love it. That's great. Greetings and salutations to you as well, friend. Hey, Sherry. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Unique. Happy Friday, Doc. Hi, Amy. Happy Friday. I promised everyone we would just do the quickest of lives this week, because I have to get to the hotel and give you a conference. We are going to try. First, I'm going to try to scoot over because Laura said that thing's on my face and it bothers her. We're going to try to live stream some of the content from the conference for you all. So take a peek over the weekend if you're not able to join us in person, and hopefully you'll see some of the content on our Facebook. Hi, Vicki. I'm going to see you in just a few minutes. Hey, Dennis in snowy Virginia Beach. You know where it's not snowy? Here in Richmond. I'm going to peek out the window. It is dry as a bone here in Richmond. I think we're supposed to get a little bit of flurries this evening, but the weather's not a big deal here. Here, at least. I hear other parts are going to be getting some snow. Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Hey, Nathan. Yeah, I hope we can get some live content for you during the conference. Let's see what the internet at the hotel has in store for us. Hello, Kwame. Greetings. All right, friends. So the Virginia General Assembly is in full swing. And there are 30, at least 30 cannabis-related bills making their way through the 2022 session. Now, some of them are just terrible bills trying to repeal the progress that we made in the most recent sessions, plural, with expungement, with prohibition on using the odor of marijuana as the sole reason to stop, search, or seize a person, place, or thing. So you got some things like that moving through the General Assembly. But a lot of bills are sort of getting at the same thing. There are a number of bills that seek to address what we would call transitional sales. So enacting sales through the already open dispensaries, expanding them from medical only to allowing adult sales. So we have a number of transition bills. And then we have the bigger bills, the sort of reenactment bills, if you will, that are much broader and deal not only with beginning sales earlier through existing operators, but also licensing new businesses. So we'll call those the reenactment bills. And there's a number of those. And there are generally two schools of thought in these bills. There's the Republican approach and there's a Democratic approach. So all of these many bills will most likely, the Senate will roll all of their bills into one version of reenactment and one version of transition. And the House will also hopefully come out with two, because I think it is important to have these bills be separate. Explain why in a minute. So the House have their singular reenactment bill and their singular transition bill. The objective would then be to pass those through those chambers, send them to the other side of the hall, and then get into conference as quickly as possible. Now, I said it's important to have not only a transition bill on its own, but also the reenactment bill. Because if something goes awry, if we aren't able to reach a compromise on the broader reenactment bills, and make no mistake, friends, that's a very real possibility. If they aren't able to reach agreement on the big reenactment bill and it dies, then if we put all of our eggs in one basket, then we'd have no progress. So the standalone transition bills are super important. So that's kind of the two primary schools of thought when it comes to sort of the legalization legislation. Then there's bills relating to expungement, both improving it and trying to roll it back. Bills related to odor for stopping, searching, or seizing a person, place, or thing, trying to roll that back. And then one bill that is trying to clarify that those laws ought to be retroactive if there are any cases that are still pending. Because in some municipalities, judges are saying, no, we are not going to use that evidence because the law has changed. And then in other municipalities, they are still using evidence that was obtained through what would now be an illegal stop, search, or seizure. So there we go. Hey, what's going on here? Hey, James. James asks if we can get more lobbyists for less fortunate states. You can be one too. I wasn't a lobbyist before this. I've never been a lobbyist for anything else but this. So yeah, Israel says, great question, James. It is a great question. And if you want to do this, we at NORML can teach you how to do this. So great that you are here today, James. If you want to get more involved, shoot us an email at chapters@norml.org. That's chapters@norml.org. And we'll get you plugged in wherever you are in the country. Hi, Larry. Hey, Candace. Candace has a question about the Cannabis Control Authority Board of Directors. Well, there are only 5 seats on the board of directors at this time, and they're all filled. So if there are more, and if there is one for the general public, then you should totally apply. That's not a thing just yet, though. There's the advisory council, the Public Health Advisory Council, and the Equity Reinvestment Board. I always forget which one's a council and which one's a board, but they're both advisory boards to the board of directors for the CCA. And those two have citizen members. Keith says Virginia cannabis should be Virginia grown. Keith, it is right now. I mean, you're right. You're right on a number of fronts. It should be Virginia grown, and even when cannabis is legal under a state's laws, interstate commerce is not legal. So technically, just by default, it all should be Virginia grown. Awesome, friends. All right, so lots of bills. Thanks, Cassidy, for dropping the links to the legislation tracker on the Virginia NORML website. You can pop in there. Cassidy and I are keeping that up to date in real time. So if there's action on a bill, you'll see it there. It makes it super easy to find all of the cannabis-related pieces of legislation moving through the 2022 General Assembly. All right, friends, you got any really burning questions for me this week? There's a lot going on. Super crazy here right now. Got some conference badges ready to put your name on them. Agenda, QR code on the back. You're welcome, Tamara. So if you want one of these delightful, and as Laura would say, very large badges, come join us at the Virginia Cannabis Conference Saturday and Sunday here in Richmond. Hey, Mike. Thanks. That's very kind of you. You know, I like the work that I get to do also. Always appreciate hearing stuff like that. Your iPad keeps freezing, Vicky. That does not bode well for the Wi-Fi at the hotel. Sarah, I also hope I have a lovely time at the conference. Thank you so much for your thoughts on that. What else can I tell you, friends? Things are really ramping up when it comes to bills. Our lobby day, Virginia Cannabis Lobby Day, is Monday the 24th. We'd love to have you join us there. We already have over 40 participants registered. Would love for you to join us there. You can register right now on the conference website. Go to virginiacannabisconference.com and click on the Lobby Day tab and register. It's free. Our launch for Lobby Day, we do a kickoff meeting at 8 a.m. at the Delta, the same place where the conference is. We give you breakfast. So come grab some breakfast, grab your packets, and head over to the Capitol. It's just a few blocks from the General Assembly, so you can walk straight up there. We also use the hotel shuttle to run people over there. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you, friend. Sarah wants to know if there's any update on the dispensary in Stanton. And as you all know, if you watch regularly, I have the sticky note right here that has the case number handy for me anytime people want to know. But Sarah, no, nothing has happened. The hearings are keep getting continued. Nothing's really happening with that. Thanks for asking. But still embroiled in legal battles. This is a good question, Fonz. Do I think there'll be a compromise between the people that want medical to begin sales and those that are concerned about social equity? I hope so. And I think what's important for folks to understand is that these two topics are not mutually exclusive by any measure. And they are bizarrely tied to each other still in public debate. Here's the thing. We have 4 companies in Virginia licensed to sell cannabis. They're already the only legal retailers of cannabis in Virginia. That doesn't change. And the fact of the matter is the people that you all elected voted for this kooky limited licensure, super regulated medical program. And, you know, as I just said, the 5th license is still embroiled in legal battle. So we have to, at some point, right? At some point, legalization has to actually be about consumers. It cannot solely be about who gets to make a buck first or next off of their backs. And that is far too often what the conversation in Virginia has devolved into, right? So there's a lone voice out there saying, hey, what about consumers? And that's NORML, because those are the only interests that NORML represents in the public policy debate, are those of responsible consumers. And I guess objectively, those who oppose cannabis prohibition, consumer or not. So imagine, if you will, you're an adult in Virginia, 21 or older, and there's a dispensary down the street from you, but you're not allowed to shop there because you're not a registered medical patient, but cannabis is legal. That kind of sucks for you. So one of the quickest ways that a state, any state, can begin transitioning people away from illicit activity and into a safe, regulated space when it comes to cannabis is to enact sales to their already existing stores. And this is a tried and true public policy that happens around the country when a state expands from medical to adult use. So we need to enact that in Virginia, full stop, regardless of how many they are or who they are. That's irrelevant. This conversation is about consumers and the ability for them to have access to cannabis that is safe, convenient, and affordable. affordable is the questionable part here, Virginia, but this will make it more affordable. Then there's the conversation about how can we license new businesses in a way that contributes to undoing the damages done by decades of marijuana prohibition in Virginia. And I think that Democrats had some great ideas about that. In the 2021 session, they were very altruistic and they really wanted to do well, but they failed significantly because they did not fully enact this measure. They missed the boat, they lost a real opportunity, and they left Virginians holding the bag. And so here we are with an even more difficult mountain to climb. If you thought it was difficult legalizing cannabis for adults in a completely virtual session, in a short session, my friends, just imagine how difficult it's going to be now, right? Not just reaching agreement between Democrats, which have wildly different ideas about how this ought to happen, but between two different parties. They're even more distant than just the different factions of Democrats were. So that is really a great question, Fonz, and our hope is that there will be a compromise between Republicans and Democrats as to how we can move this ball forward, because we cannot stay in the space that we're in currently in Virginia. It's not working. It's not working for Virginians. So these are not mutually exclusive concepts, and we can address both of them. I think it's important that we separate them and talk about them with the respect and importance that they each deserve. Robert, you are very kind, and I appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. Hey, Keith, what about Virginia hemp growers? Keith, there are a lot of bills that that have to do specifically with hemp, so definitely take a peek at those on our bill page. Dispensaries are from out of state. They are now owned by multi-state operators, but I'll remind you, Keith, that they were Virginia applicant groups that won the license for Dharma and for Delitzo. Those were Virginia-owned applicant groups. They did ultimately sell to multi-state operators, and good for them for being successful. Yeah. Thanks, Israel. Oh my gosh. Adam, thank you for sharing that with us. That's something, buddy. That is something. Whew. Yeah, Derek, this limited licensure model is terrible for everyone, not just for Virginians, but it's not good for the companies trying to run their businesses when they can only serve a very small number of customers. Not only is it limited in the dispensary side, but it's limited. There are a lot of restrictions Virginians face trying to access the program, trying to register for it, trying to get certified, and there are bills to make that easier in the session. Yeah, absolutely. We should be putting money back into the communities that have been most disparately impacted by marijuana prohibition. And Derek, you might recall that there is ample funding allocated for such. By the 2021 legislation, there are bills that seek to redivert those tax revenue streams, though. That's something. Rhonda, I am super sorry that you're still waiting for, let's show this one. Rhonda, I'm so sorry to hear that you're still waiting to get your certification from Board of Pharmacy. Feel free to shoot us an email and we'll try our best to connect you with someone there that can help you out. There are bills that would make this process less arduous, but they wouldn't take effect for a while. Happy Friday, Nini. Oh, look, there's someone we get to ban. Ha 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 ha. That's dumb. Let's do it twice. Yeah, Derek, you're right. They do have to expand licensing and make it available to adult use consumers as well. Hey, Fonz. So this is literally a bill we had planned to introduce in this session. And then we had an election in November. And based on the outcome of that election, this type of bill stood exactly 0 chance at passing. So coulda, woulda, shoulda. But Virginians did not vote well. Hey, JT, those emails you do send to your senators and delegates are helpful, and they do things. They're not really moving the ball that fast in Congress, but here in Virginia, we were able to legalize cannabis for adults. And let's not forget, through NORML's platform alone, 9,000 constituent contacts were sent during the 2021 session calling for legalization to take effect on July 1, 2021, and it did. So sometimes, really a lot here in Virginia, at least, your letters can be really impactful. Melissa, what can we expect on Monday? Oh, JT, you're in Indiana. Sorry, buddy. We do have a good chapter in Indiana, though. Melissa, what can we expect on Monday? Well, my sunshiny disposition very early in the morning, accompanied with food. And we're going to do lots of rah, go team, and talk about your meetings and how you're going to go through them. Meeting with your legislators is super easy. Dress professionally and be polite and say, speak from your heart about what the legislative objectives you want in the session are, and we'll coach you on how to do that. Hey, John, I don't know about what's going on in South Carolina, but I know that Jax did a live earlier, and I bet Jax does. Melissa, I hope that was a good enough answer for you. Feel free to ask me in person. We got you. Don't worry about it. All right, friends, listen, I promised Tamara I would wrap this up quickly and get over to the hotel so we can move a bunch of stuff around. So this has been super awesome. I've enjoyed this time together, as I always do. Let's do it all again next week. Unless, of course, we're in the middle of a legislative hearing. Hey, if you haven't yet gotten your tickets for the conference, please do. Would love to see you there, and would love for you all to join us on Lobby Day at the Capitol. You can register for that at virginiacannabisconference.com on the Lobby tab. All right, friends, I will see you back here next week. We'll do this all again, and we'll talk about what's happening with cannabis legislation, because some bills are going to be heard next week. I hope you're following along on our bill tracker page for Virginia. Please do. Hey, Conway, Sarah, you have fun and stay safe. And as JT reminds me, hey friends, if you are not yet a member of NORML, I don't know what you're waiting for. Head to norml.org/join, and I'll send you your 2022 official NORML member card. All right, friends, everyone have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.